Years old. Well, that sure changed. He's the author behind a string of books for young adults. Reynolds says he writes stories on topics he felt didn't exist when he was growing up. His new book is called Long Way Down. It's about a young boy whose brother is killed by gun violence. It's published by Athenian Books. That's an imprint of Simon & Schuster, which is a division of CBS. We went to Reynolds' hometown of Oxon Hill, Maryland, to learn about his love for literature that he didn't learn in school.
Writing is like any other sort of sport. In order for you to get better at it, you have to exercise the muscle.
When Jason Reynolds was a student here at Barnaby Manor Elementary School, you may not have guessed he would become an award-winning author for young adults. If the walls could talk, what would they tell us about you? What did the teacher say about you back then?
Back then, the teacher said two things.
Okay.
One, that I was one of the most disorganized kids that they'd ever seen. And two, that I didn't work to my full potential.
Do you know Jason Reynolds, the famous best-selling author? Her son's potential is not something Isabel Reynolds, who teaches here now, has ever questioned.
As a little boy growing up, it was important for him to know that he could do anything. He had the power to do anything.
You told him that?
Oh, yes. I taught that to him, and every night when he said his prayers, that was the last statement that he made. I can do anything. He did.
And the thing that stands out to me about you is that you didn't read your first novel from cover to cover until you were 17. How is that possible?
And first of all, it's true, right, that I did not read my first novel cover to cover until I was 17. And
I don't know whether to be mad or impressed by that.
I'd be upset.
Okay.
Definitely be upset. And I guess I should start with why that is the case. And the truth is that when I was younger, books were given to me. Right? I want to be clear. There were books around me. There were books in the home. But the books that were given to me had nothing to do with my life.
So if you didn't get fulfillment from books, where did you get fulfillment from?
Rap music. Rap music was and is for me everything. It's interesting because I recognize that it's complicated, and it was complicated back then. I remember the protesting against the language of the artists in these songs, but for me they were honest. And so rap music was the thing that really drew me in, specifically Queen Latifah.
Queen Latifah?
The great Queen Latifah.
U-N-I-T-Y?
Her image was something I directly connected to because Queen Latifah reminded me of my mother, of my sister, of my cousins, of my aunties, because she was a woman with such stature, and the way that she spoke was sort of a little hard-edged, and she looked like she could give you the greatest hug of your life, and she looked like she could bust you in the face at the same time.
So what did she teach you, Jason?
She taught me that there was a direct connection between what she was doing with lyrics and what the poets that I was learning in school were doing with lyrics. That the only separation between these poets, which we didn't even call rappers back then, is generation. But the truth is that Queen Latifah's Ladies First, Maya Angelou's Phenomenal Woman, are literally the same poem, a generation apart.
Reynolds was so inspired by their words, he became a poet. But for years struggled to find his place in the literary world, until a friend, he says, changed his life.
His name is Christopher Myers. His father was the late, great Walter Dean Myers, right? A juggernaut in our industry. He changed the way we thought about children's literature.
Yeah.
And Chris came to me one day and he said, "What you working on?" And I said, "Nothing. I think it's over." And he said, "Well, let me tell you something. My father's getting old. Who's going to write the stories about the kids like us? Who's going to write the stories about the kids who are still searching for themselves in books?
Exactly.
Searching to see their families in a novel, searching for themselves as characters. Who's going to write those stories?"
Reynolds embraced the task, writing 8 novels in only 3 years. His latest release, Long Way Down.
There's a strange thing that happens in the elevator, in any elevator.
It's the story of a 15-year-old boy,
Yes,
whose brother is killed,
yes,
and he gets on the elevator with a gun,
yes.
intent to go and take revenge on the person who killed his
Absolutely.
brother.
Absolutely.
And what happens on that elevator?
The doors open, and someone else gets on the elevator with him. But it just so happens that the people who are getting on this elevator every single floor are no longer alive. They are people that he knows, but they have all been don't
Wow.
know you. Don't know your last name. If you got brothers or sisters or mothers or fathers or cousins that be like brothers and sisters, or aunties or uncles that be like mothers and fathers. But if the blood inside you is on the inside of someone else, you never want to see it on the outside of them.
Connecting
Right.
with young people is a personal responsibility for Reynolds. Today, he has visited over 100 schools around the country.
To write for kids, you're taking on a certain load. The other part of that load is that they need to see you. Right? If I'm writing these books and I'm saying that I love them and I'm saying that I care for them, to me it's important that they see me, that they see what I look like, that they see how I speak. We talk about rap music and Jordans and we dance, and at the end of all of that, they say, yo, I like this guy, I'm gonna read these books.
What would 33-year-old Jason say to 17-year-old Jason?
That excellence is a habit. All that matters to you is, are you going to do it or are you not? And
Right.
if you're not, stop talking about it.
Jason Reynolds, don't stop talking. I'm telling you, I was so impressed with him. I hadn't heard of him, to be honest with you, but you meet him and you really see his intelligence is what shines through.
Yeah.
And Queen Latifah, he used to work at a clothing store. In his apartment, he keeps a pair of pants framed that show ripped jeans that shows what he used to do. Queen Latifah guys came into the store and years ago, and he said he didn't get enough courage to go and say hello to her, to let her know how much he influenced.
And so he frames those as a reminder to have the courage to
Yes.
do it.
And to know what his life used to be.
Yeah, I mean, and think about how did he become so prolific? I mean, experienced writers can't push out
5 books in 3 years.
Yeah.
I think it was 8 or 9.
Yeah, no, he's a very, very special guy. I think Long Way Down could be a movie. Just saying. Hey, Long Way Down goes on sale tomorrow. Jason Reynolds will be here in our Toyota